Hey guys, Datix here. Black Myth: Wukong is a beautiful action RPG soaked in the setting of mythological ancient China. But this game leans away from the Souls-like formula and promises a faster, more modern take on combat inside a gorgeous setting filled with secrets and lore to keep you invested. Combat is ultimately the focus of Black Myth: Wukong, and the love put into the systems and mechanics around it shows. In order to experience the combat in all its glory, the game has varied, challenging, numerous, and interesting bosses. The game is essentially exploration between boss fights, a boss rush if you will. There are smaller enemies that can and will take you down between them, but finding and experiencing bosses is why you're here. More on the specifics soon. The combat steps away from the Souls-like formula in many ways. Besides having stamina or focus in this game, you're lighter and more agile. You can combo light and heavy attacks in various ways, and further change those based on different unlockable stances. Pillar Stance, for example, lets you climb on top of your staff to avoid attacks and recover focus. You can then slam the staff down on the heads of your enemies for a powerful and satisfying thunk. Thrust Stance can use the extendable range of your staff to jab enemies from far. You also have access to magic, for example, the ability to immobilize your enemies, with bosses being locked down for a short time but still being affected by it. You can smack them around until the spell bursts. Additionally, good timing on spell usage increases their effectiveness.
Like a double-barrel shotgun.
Using the Ring of Fire and then drinking the gourd will restore more health than using it outside of the Ring of Fire. Using the Pluck of Many allows you to summon a group of clones, which assist you and allow you to temporarily disengage from a losing battle. But if you want to see something beautiful involving magic, check this out. Magic the Gathering is releasing its most adorable set yet, Bloom Burrow. It's a plane where every humanoid is a cute furry creature. Think Disney, so naturally the bad guys are the giant predators of the world who function as elemental calamities, like Lumra, Bellow of the Woods. Just check out the beautiful artwork. Even the lands, like Three Tree City, are stunning. This one has 4 versions, one for every season. Of course, this means the Stork will be paying your cards a visit with the new Offspring mechanic. Just look at the adorable token baby versions of these cards. If you're hoping to get into Magic, Bloom Burrow is the perfect entry point, as you can pick up a starter kit so you and your partner can play together. Keep an eye out for this beautiful set hitting shelves on August the 2nd. Alright, back to it. So, along with stances and magic, we have another way to customize your playstyles: transformations. These will completely change your moveset based on the transformation, even providing some different weapons. So, after defeating certain enemies, you'll be granted the ability to transform into them for a limited time. For example, taking out a boss named Gong Chi will let you transform into him using some of his moves. Along with transforming into him, you'll be able to use his weapon as well, a flaming staff. There's also a lot of footage of the player transforming into a muscular beast that slams the ground and disrupts large groups of enemies with its attacks. While transformed, you'll get a second health bar, and you'll transform back into your original form when you lose the first, meaning that transformations will be relatively low risk. Most of these use a resource called Might. Think of it as your mana. So you can't spam spells and transformations, as you need to consider how and when you want to use your resource. You also can't block attacks in Black Myth: Wukong. You can twirl your staff to deflect projectiles, but there are very few things you can actually parry. Yet another reason why this game doesn't feel like a Souls-like title. The name of the game for Wukong will be dodging. You can dodge up to 3 times before it begins a short cooldown. You can also perfectly dodge with the window being right as you get hit. If you pull it off, time will slow down and you'll leave an after image of yourself behind, and you'll restore some focus. This allows you to potentially follow up with a heavy attack, making the fight a lot easier. There'll be a ton of spells and transformations according to the devs, and this, along with limited slots and a skill tree, means there'll be a lot of potential builds for your character. The devs state this allows you to create your own combos and find your own style. IGN China wrote, "The protagonist's weapon, the Golden Cudgel, changes its attack based on the attack rhythm. Light attacks can accumulate focus points displayed in the bottom right corner of the screen, while heavy attacks consume those points. Combining light and heavy attacks can create combos. During a combo, if you press the heavy attack button just before an enemy's attack is about to hit the protagonist, You can expend special points to execute a combo that deals greater damage to the enemy in an invincible status. They played a build that let them rotate between 3 different stances, including Smash Form, Pillar Form, and Thrust Form at any time. They also had access to spells such as Immobilize, Stone Solid, Ring of Fire, and the Pluck of Many. There were also 2 transformation abilities. One turns you into the previously seen Fireblade Wolf, and one results in a creature with poisonous attacks. Additionally, they could use potions for healing and find more out in the world. But what would all these amazing combat mechanics be without equally amazing bosses? IGN China goes on to describe their experiences with some of the bosses, and we also see an alternate use for potions, named Centipede Guy, and it appears in the first 13-minute gameplay trailer released in 2020. This time it awaits the player in a horrible cave.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
Its attack methods include rolling and heavy punches, as well as the ability to release poisonous gas. This gas inflicts a slow-acting poison effect on the protagonist, causing gradual health loss, which can only be cured by consuming antidote potions. However, this boss is considered relatively easy overall in terms of difficulty for this trial version. After becoming familiar with its attack patterns, most players should be able to defeat it easily. The second boss is called McCaig Chef, as seen in the Snow Mountain of the 2021 trailer. This time players can experience the sequence just as it was shown. You can observe how the protagonist's movements and combat in the snow-covered terrain dramatically affect the accumulation of snow in real time. This battle also holds a secret. If the chef's health is reduced to half within a certain time, it triggers his second phase. To encounter the monkey with wings, the protagonist needs to venture deeper into the scene, In this state, the monkey's aggression, attack range, and attack patterns all increase significantly. It gains the ability to launch aerial assaults against the player, making for a thrilling and intense encounter. The third boss is the Tiger Vanguard, who appeared in the 2022 trailer. This time, the Tiger Vanguard awaits players' challenges in a blood pool in a temple. According to the developers, this boss will play a role in this storyline as an NPC who imparts the Stone Solid skill to the protagonist. Therefore, you will witness him using this skill during battle. One highlight of this scene is how the water reacts and changes dynamically with the actions and combat. The Tiger Vanguard boasts the highest attack speed and aggression among the 3 bosses. Not only does he possess both physical and spell-based attack abilities, but his combo attacks also deal substantial damage, making it easy to fall victim to his assault. So don't expect the game to be a walk in the park. Similar to the Souls-like titles, you do lose experience on death. There will be shrines littered around the world where you can respawn and where you can restore your health. Enemies will respawn if you use a shrine, though we're told you can evade them in different ways and teleport between shrines. As you defeat enemies, you'll gain will, which builds up a bar in the top right of the screen. When the bar is full, you'll gain a spark, which can be used to purchase upgrades from one of your various skill trees, which we haven't had the opportunity to see yet. Once you fill the bar and bank a point, you can't lose it. You can even add that skill point whenever you want, not just at a shrine. There's also loot in the game, like different armors that provide more damage or status resistance effects. There are different rarities, with higher rarities providing some special effects, like gaining focus when using the healing gourd. There's also a crafting system where you can make different staves and armor sets. Yes, there'll be sets of armor that give you bonuses based on how many pieces you have equipped. We're unsure though if you can use other weapons outside of the staves, though I doubt it as we have different weapons in the form of transformation. What you may have noticed first is how beautiful the game looks. The game supports NVIDIA DLSS 3.5 and is fully ray traced. It has global illuminations and shadows. Ray reconstruction is supported, ensuring better image quality and frames, though the requirements for full ray tracing at 4K on Ultra require at minimum an RTX 4080 Super.
Wow.
As seen here with the PC requirements. Unlike Elden Ring, Black Myth Wukong is a mostly linear experience. The devs want each area to feel handcrafted and exploration to always be rewarded. It also means it won't be a massive game. All the way back in 2020, one of the devs told IGN it would take someone around 15 hours to beat the game. This could have since changed, and that number seems like just the mainline missions, as the language used implied that you could beat the game in that time, but most won't. There are seemingly plenty of optional bosses and content beyond the Golden Path, many you'll be encouraged to return to. Areas are also big and contain a lot of secrets, so make sure to check behind those waterfalls. IGN China, when talking about the level they got to play, said the following: "This level features a semi-open map with multiple paths for players to explore. It includes a short cutscene and an optional quest to obtain a new transformation ability, and a final boss encounter with the 2-phase transformation, Blood Moon General. This boss is of enormous size, and the protagonist can only engage in battle by standing at his feet.
I don't feel nothing. He's like drunk guy, you know.
It possesses the ability to unleash area-wide attacks, making dodging these attacks a challenge. Additionally, during its second phase transformation, the entire scene is shrouded in a blood moon, and its attack patterns undergo some changes. There's also a detour path in the level that players might not easily find, where they can encounter a hidden boss, the Poisonous King. This creature has the appearance of a scorpion-like monster. After engaging in conversation with it, the players need to break the wine barrel beside it to start the battle. This hidden boss presents the highest level of difficulty in this trial version. It possesses extremely fast attacks, deals heavy damage, and boasts skills that inflict poison on the protagonist. It took me nearly an hour of fighting to defeat it, and there were several instances where I succumbed to poison before being able to actually use the cure poison in time. So even in a short demo, journalists discovered the off-the-beaten-path bosses to overcome. The devs are also intentionally developing this game to be a complete experience. That means a complete story start to finish. You won't need to wait years for a sequel to feel a sense of accomplishment. As you play, the story will drip feed to you, and some story is tied to bosses of the world. After discovering and defeating each boss, you'll find out more about them. After all this information and demoing, we still haven't had many important questions answered. What do you want to know more about? Let me know below. I personally want to see a skill tree and find out more about how exploration is rewarded. But there isn't much longer to wait since release is 20th of August. Also be sure to keep your eyes on this channel where I'll be trying out and covering this game before said release. So thanks for watching, and for everything RPG, you're in the right place. Ciao friends.